Champlain room microphone test.
Good morning, everyone. And I have a quorum of the committee in the room, so I'll call the committee to order and welcome everyone to the 54th meeting of the Planning Committee for this term of council. It is May the 28th. If you wish to speak to any of the items that are on today's agenda, if you would fill in a white request to speak form, and it's located under the big TV at my far right. Bring it to the committee assistant at my closest right, and we'll make sure that we recognize you to speak to the items on the agenda. This is a public meeting to consider the proposed comprehensive official plan and zoning bylaw amendments listed as items 4 to 7 on today's agenda. For items listed above, only those who make oral submissions today or written submissions before the amendments are adopted may appeal the matter to the Ontario Municipal Board. In addition, the applicant may appeal the matter to the Ontario Municipal Board if Council does not adopt an amendment within 120 days of receipt of the application for zoning and 180 days for an official plan amendment, and that's after a complete application. Une feuille de commentaires est disponible à l'entrée pour toute personne désirant soumettre des commentaires écrits concernant les modifications. So there is a comment sheet if you don't wish to speak to the committee at the front, which you can provide written comments, which will preserve your appeal rights under the section of the Act. So, members of committee, I have no regrets. Are there any declarations of interest? None? Okay. Confirmation of minutes. We have read the minutes and they're all correct? That's up for review, yes, Councillor. Okay.
Let's reconsider.
So minutes 53, the 14th of May, 2013. Is that carried? Carried. Okay. Now we're going to go through a consent agenda. Item number 1 is an application to alter Central Park, a property designated under Part 5 of the Ontario Heritage Act and located in the Clemo Estate East Heritage Conservation District. I have no one registered to speak to the committee with respect to item number 1. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to the committee with respect to item number 1, an application to alter Central Park? Okay. Members of committee, is this item carried? Carried. Okay. Item number 2 is the status update planning committee inquiries and motions for the period ending the 28th of May, 2013. I have no one registered to speak to the committee with respect to this item. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to the committee with respect to the status update planning committee inquiries and motions for the period ending 28th of May, 2013? Nope. Great. Members of committee, is this item received? Received. Okay. Item number 3 and 4 are actually together, so we're going to take them together. We have one person, well, 2 people registered, 3 people registered to speak, all on 2 sheets. Is it? No, yes, it's 3. You're right. Ms. Bradley, Mr. Kardish, and Mr. Riddell. Now, we do have 2 motions, right, that we need to move to implement some issues that arose between the printing of the agenda and where we find ourselves today. So, Ms. Bradley, Mr. Riddell, and you're on the O'Keefe drain. If we're prepared to carry the items, and I'm assuming you've seen the motions, and you're satisfied you don't need to speak to committee with respect to these items? Okay, that's on the O'Keefe drain. Now, with respect to the official plan and zoning amendment on Strandherd Road, is that the same situation? And you have seen the motions and you're in accord with them? Okay, good. Great. So you don't need to speak to committee members of committee. Councillor Harder is moving the two motions. Are those motions carried? Okay. Now, we'll carry the item, but before we do, Councillor Harder wanted to offer just a brief comment.
I know that you're probably all stunned that these two items, we're not having people coming to speak today. That you should not take for 1 minute that you should not think for 1 minute that that means that they were not very contentious and that we did not have a tremendous amount of output. But I look at the people that are in the room prepared to speak, the people that are speaking for the applicant. I look in particular for Lily, our planner, Lily Chu, David Wise, her boss, Cal Hakala, who worked on the drain, and all the people from regional and everybody in FOTAN, etc., and the community, the business community. As I said, it was incredibly contentious, and the fact that we have got to this place today is in no small way due to Lily being there and Tim with solutions. This is an incredibly piece of land for the future of Barrhaven. It means about 10,000 jobs. Prestige Business Park was what we were trying our best to protect. We've done some very ingenious things, I think, in order to safeguard that and to give a level of comfort. And I'm very excited that this is going to go forward, and we're looking at servicing and the widening of Strand Herd and the growth of business, in particular prestige business in the community of Barrhaven. So I want to thank all of those that I have mentioned. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you, Councillor. On the item then, is it carried? Carried. Okay. The next item on the agenda is item number 5, which is the zoning at 43 Blackburn Avenue. We have a number of speakers all in support of the application. And for those members who are here to speak to the committee, since you're all in agreement, and unless there's some opposition, and looking into my crystal ball, most times the committee will agree with this unless we don't have to hear opposition. So unless you really have to speak to the committee, we can dispose of this matter within the next 2 minutes, and you can go back to work or home or wherever you are. But, however, it is your right to speak to the committee if you wish to, and we'll honor that right if you so choose. So, I'm assuming are you Leanne? I'm Leanne. Okay. Okay. And we'll ask you. And just for the record, we're going to go through and ask everyone if they want to speak, and if they do, we'll allow that. So, Sharon O'Sullivan. Okay. Elspeth Torrey. Okay. Lenore Glamode. Okay. Robert and Jessalyn Reed. Okay. Cindy Mitchell. Okay. I'm going to apologize right out of the bat. Masood Qureshi. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. I'm looking. Oh, perfect. Sanita Milton? Okay. Sandra McPherson? Okay. And we have written comments from Allison. Do they want to speak to it? Okay. And Jeanette Scobie, are you in support or in opposition? Wait. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to hold here, we're going to see if we can have someone speak with Ms. Scobie and see if we can resolve that concern, and then we're going to come back to it. Because if she wants to speak in opposition, I'm going to be assured that you guys are going to want to speak in support. So we're going to go and work that out. So everyone on item number 5, we're going to hold pat for a minute, and we're going to go to the rest of our agenda, and we're going to come back to it. She probably is not in opposition once she hears the explanation in French. So we're just going to hold on that for a minute, and then we're going to come back to it. So item number 6 is the zoning at 267. Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to get my 276 Sunnyside Avenue. We have one person registered to speak with respect to this item, Mark Labrosse. Mr. Labrosse, are you here? Yeah, and you're in agreement with the recommendation? Okay, and you don't need to speak to the committee as long as we're prepared to carry this item? Okay. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak to the item at 276 Sunnyside Avenue? No? Okay. Members of committee, is this item carried? Carried. Okay, item number 7 is the zoning at 66 Hurst Way. We have 3 people registered to speak. Mr. Page, who is in agreement. Mr. Page, you're in agreement? And as long as we're prepared to carry this item as it's presented, you don't need to speak to us? Okay. Maureen Taylor. Ms. Taylor, are you here? Yeah, I can't see you behind the cameraman, but yes. And you don't need, do you need to speak to the committee as long as the recommendation is unchanged? Right. As unchanged, right. Okay. Perfect. And Kul Kapoor? And you're in agreement with the recommendation?
Yes, the same as the
right. So as long as we don't vary the staff report that's in front of us and the recommendation that's in front of us, you don't need to speak to us. Okay. Perfect. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak to the committee with respect to 66 Hurst Way? So is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak to the committee other than the 3 that I have mentioned? Ms. Taylor, Mr. Page, and Mr. Kapoor. Okay. I'm being told that there's a Rod McLean. Is there a Rod McLean here? Okay. There we go. That's easy then. So, on the zoning at 66 Hurst Way, is that carried? Carried. Okay. Well, we're back to item number 5. And have we had a resolution? Do we know to... I guess we're going to check. Okay. Maybe while we wait to see if this is resolved, I can ask if there are any notices of motion or inquiries. Okay. Excellent. I'm going to go back to... We're good? Okay. So apparently we've resolved the issue with Ms. Scobie, and therefore she doesn't need to speak to the committee. So we will continue on. We've noted everyone who doesn't need to speak to the committee. So on item number 5 at zoning at 43 Blackburn Avenue, is that carried? Carried. There we go. Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other business? No? Excellent. Our next meeting is Tuesday, June 11th. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.